Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn the first lesson of history, that is sources of history. You studied ancient Indian history last year. In that, you got the information about the Harappan and Mohenjo-daro civilization, their housing pattern, their culture, their religious idea, all information about the Harappan and Mohenjo-daro civilization. This year we are going to study the medieval Indian history. Generally, the period from the 9th century till the end of 18th century is considered as a medieval history. In this history, we are going to learn the time before the birth of Shivaji Maharaj. After that, we are going to learn the birth of Shivaji Maharaj, battles of Shivaji Maharaj, and the interesting history after the death of Shivaji Maharaj, that the Maratha War of Independence. All that history we will learn this year. Now there is a one question in your mind that, sir, why we have to learn the history? What does history gives to us? Is it important? Is any importance for history in our life? Yes. The answer for this question is yes. History is very important for us. Whatever the past mistakes are there of us, we will learn from the history, and for the bright future, it is very important. Then, what does history gives to us? History gives to us chronological significance and the systematic account of past event. Whatever the past events are there in a one manner, in a one line, in a systematic way, we got into the history, and that information is very helpful for our bright future. There are four important factors for writing the history. Which are they? The first one is their individuals. Individual means we will get the information about particular king, queen, person. Their information is very important for us. It is the individual one. Second one, society. Not only the information about the individual person, we will get the idea of society, how they live, how the conditions are there for the society, how the living standard of people is there, which type of festivals they celebrate, what is the culture of them. All that information regarding to the society we will write in a history. The third important factor for writing the history is place. Without place, we cannot write the history. Yes, one battle occurred where we don't know. How we can explain the history? Means for writing the history, the place is one of the important factor. And the last important factor is time. Without time, we cannot express the history. Yes, time, particularly time needed for writing the history. Means there are four important factors are there for writing the history. They are individuals, society, place, and time. Many times in the exam, the question asked on these factors. Yes, write down the factors affecting to the history. Write down some important factors for writing history. Which are they? They are individuals, society, place, and time are the important factors for writing the history. From this, we will get the correct history. We will get the information about the history. Many times we got the information about the past. Sometimes we read the poems, sometimes we listen the songs, sometimes we listen the story. From that we got the past information. All that past information is history. Yes, means we got some information about past, sir, it is the history. No, all information we got from history, from the past is not history. Here, the history must be based on the authentic evidence or a proof. some proofs are there, some evidence are there. If they are authentic, then only the information is correct or we will include in history. These proofs are known as the sources of history. What is mean by sources of history? History must be based on some authentic evidence or proof. These proofs are known as the sources of history. Sources of history is divided into the three main types or three main parts. How many parts? There are three main parts for the sources of history. The first one is their material sources, second one is their written sources, and third one is oral sources. Let us learn one by one. The first, material sources. Student, give attention towards this figure. Yes, this picture gives some information about material sources to you. Some examples of material sources are given in this picture. Which examples are they? Forts, memorials, buildings, caves, sculpture, inscription, coins, copper plates. All these are the examples of material sources. Material sources is also known as physical sources. Listen carefully. The physical sources or the material sources is also known as physical sources, or physical sources is also known as material sources. Means there is another name for the material source is physical sources. The first one material source, forts. The forts is an important place among the material sources. We get the authentic information, true information from the forts. There are four important types of forts. How many types of forts are there? There are four important types of fort. Which are they? The first one is their hill fort, second one sea fort, third one forest fort, and the fourth one is their plain fort or the fort built on a plain. How we make the types of forts? Where we build the fort, on that we make some types of fort. Very easy. Sometimes we make some forts, we made some forts on a in a forest, so it is known as forest fort. Sometimes made the fort on a sea, it is known as sea fort. Sometimes fort made on a plain ground, plain platform, it is known as fort on a plain. Means where that fort was built, there that type of the fort is there. There are main four types of the fort: hill fort, forest fort, sea fort, as well as fort on a plain. The second one is their memorials. Memorials gives us some information about the particular person. The memorials built after the death of person, and we get some information about that person from that memorials. The third one is their monuments. Monuments include the samadhis, graves, or virgalas. Many times some sant, some rishis, people died, that time we make some graves of the great persons or sant, it is known as samadhis. Sometimes brave people died, after the death of them we make some veer galas for them. How we made it? See in this picture. After the death of the person, they keep some stones on their graves, and they wrote some pictures, they carved some picture on the stone, as well as they wrote some information about that person on it. It is known as veer galas. Veer, that word used for the brave person. Understood? Now come on the next one, buildings. Yes, everyone know the buildings. Today's building, hmm, apartments, schools. But in a past, like these buildings are there? No, in a past, some queen's quarters are there. Houses of common peoples were there, as well as some administrative places were there. All these administrative places, Queen's Quarter, houses of the common people were known as the buildings, and that buildings gives us some important information to us about the past. From these monuments, buildings, as well as Veer Galas, we get some information about the development of architecture, some economic conditions, style of a art, as well as people's standard of living. So all these sources are very important. Caves, sculptures. From these caves and sculpture, we get information about the social life. Many pictures were drawn on the particular places. From that caves we get the information. In next one, inscription on the wall. An inscription is carving on a stone or the wall is known as the inscription or the info. Many times the people in the past, they wrote some information, or they may draw some pictures on a wall, on a stone. That information, that pictures were known as the inscription. The Tanjawar's inscription of the Chalukya's period is very famous. It gives lot information about history to us. The next important material source is coin. Look at this picture. The two coins shown to you in this picture. The coins are made by the different rulers. Hmm? Many rulers make their own coins. When they made the coins, they use the different types of metal for minting the coin, like the gold, silver, copper. From this, we will get idea about their economical condition. If the economical conditions was good, they used the gold to make the coins. If the economical conditions was not good, then they used the copper for the coin, making the coin. Here, the from coins we will get a lot information. Which type of information we get? Some we will get some information about period. We get some information about religious idea. We got some information about the period of period for that particular king or queen, as well as some ideas regarding to their religion also we will get from the coin. See, here in the second picture we shown coin of a Hyder Ali. On that the Shiv Parvati's photo was there, as well as another coin is there of Akbar. He pasted some Ram Sita's picture on his coin. So we will get some religious idea from the coin. In a first picture, see, we will get some language information from the coin also. The first one, that coin of the Peshwas, that time they wrote Persian language or the Parsi or Arabic language on their coins, means language, religion, religious idea, as well as their economic condition got from the coin. So the coin is one of the important material source. And the last one is their copper plates. Copper plate is one of the important material source. What is mean by copper plate? Sometimes some orders of the king, some important edicts of the king, some important donation given to the particular places, all that wrote on a copper plate. It is known as the copper plate. Generally, the most important information wrote on the copper plate, like the donation, royal edicts, were wrote on the copper plate. All these material sources are very important to understand the perfect history. So, the material sources, which material sources today we learn? We learn forts, memorials, buildings, caves, sculptures, inscriptions, coins, copper plates. Tomorrow we will learn some information about the written source. Thank you.